was a good win. Tough environment. Give the fans here in Utah a lot of credit. This building has been loud and boisterous ever since I've been in the league, and it's no different tonight. They tried like the Dickens to help their team get a win, and I give credit to our guys. One of the many things that Steve talked about to me before the game in terms of passing a message on to our guys is he said that he felt Utah was going to come out, and they were going to hit us in the mouth early. The crowd was going to be behind them. They were going to feel that energy. And then with a little bit of desperation because they're down 0-2, that could get them over the hump if we relax and we allow them to hit us first. So he said the biggest thing was to relay to our guys that we just needed to sustain. We needed to, at worst, sustain their initial hit and then figure it out as the game went along. And I told that to our guys, and I thought that's what happened. We came out. We actually hit them first, which is one of the things that he talked about. The crowd stayed with it. They stayed with it. And then from there, it was an up-and-down game the rest of the time. Give our guys credit because they stayed poised. They could have caved at any time, especially in the third when Utah went on a run. But they just stayed with it. There was no panic involved or anything like that, especially during timeouts in the huddle. I tell you, to have 0 turnovers in the second half, it's amazing. But to see a couple of guys, I just want to talk about a couple of guys on the team, but to see JaVale come in the game and have an impact like he did, especially late in the fourth quarter, was huge. I thought he was big for us the whole night. And then, KD, you give Utah credit. They were physical with us tonight. They were bumping us on our cuts, holding a little bit, not allowing us to get free, in transition. And KD had a big night offensively. That's one of the reasons why we welcomed him here. It's tough to hold a guy that's 7 feet. And it's tough to try to control a guy that's 7 feet that can play out on the perimeter and handle the ball, especially when he's as good as he is in the pick and roll game. So great effort all the way around by everybody.
Yeah, Mike, Tim Calcon, Mercury News. Durant got a couple shots in early. Definitely looked emotional throughout this game. Did you sense at some point, or even maybe before the game, that this might be a big game for him, that he was into it mentally, that he was into it physically?
We felt that all our guys were locked in. We had a pretty good last couple of days. Our guys were saying the right thing and so on and so forth. Not just KD, but I'm talking to the team in general. And then when he started getting going early, I just felt that it could be a big night for him, and it was.
Marcus Thompson, Mercury News Group. Coach, it looked for moments there like, you guys were agitated, with the refs, the crowd. Was it good for them to feel that and kind of fight through it? No doubt, and that's what I said earlier. Our poise was tremendous because there were a couple of times we could have fell off the wagon, but our guys, they reeled it in. They stayed composed, and they figured out how to get the job done.
Mike, Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. I wanted to ask you about both the technicals. With the Draymond one, could you see that kind of coming, and were you trying to stop it? Because I think they called it when he was finally got back on the bench. And then what was your take on the flagrant with Kevin?
Yeah, I didn't visually see it coming with Draymond. I knew he was at the end of the bench. And, Draymond has a loud voice. And I didn't even hear him yell anything. That's why I was surprised when Benny called a technical, because normally I would hear Draymond. And I didn't hear anything. And so I was just a little surprised that it did happen because he was at the end of the bench. But, Draymond composed himself, and he came out and played a tremendous rest of the game for us. And then, KD, I didn't see it. But KD said Gobert shot an elbow at him. And, if he did, that's a dangerous play for anybody to receive an elbow from somebody like that, And KD's going to stand up for himself, and it's basically what he did.
John Kuhn, Sports Exchange. Steph had kind of a tough night shooting. At one point, he missed like 9 or 10 shots in a row, but then he came up with a couple of huge baskets for you guys late. What can you say about what his approach was offensively, that he was able to kind of work through that skid and find its rhythm late?
That's the luxury of having, guys out on the floor that can score for you. And Klay had a tough night too, but with KD having it going, he kind of offensively made big shots and carried us throughout the course of the game. And a guy like Steph, you don't worry much about it because sooner or later he's going to hit one. And then when he does hit one, you just kind of go, uh-oh. And I'm sure the other team goes, uh-oh. And next thing you know, that one turns into 3 out of 4 or 5 in a row. So we knew at some point he was going to get himself going, and he did. So it didn't surprise me when he started making baskets. We just wanted him to stay with it the entire night, and he did.